Survivor is back for a new season, with 3 tribes split up in a whole new way.
Brains, brawn, and beauty.
From the former NBA player to the nuclear engineer, we'll introduce you to the 18 faces vying for the ultimate prize. And whether using their mind, their muscles, or their modeling skills, these contestants are looking to prove they've got what it takes to be named the sole survivor.
I use what I have. I utilize my assets to go where I need to go.
I want to be the brains behind the operation. I don't want anyone thinking for themselves.
I'm just downright conniving.
If I don't win this game, shame on me.
Plus, we share how this amazing tribal council was built, and it's your exclusive first look at 2 challenges you'll see this season.
Survivor's ready. Go!
This is Survivor Cagayan Preview.
It's going to be a good game. I think we're going to have a great season.
For its 28th season, Survivor is back in the Philippines with the castaways competing against each other on 3 separate tribes. Contestants will be split up according to athleticism, attractiveness, and intelligence.
The idea this season of dividing them up with brains and brawn and beauty really came from our casting director, Lynn Spillman. We had assembled 18 people that we loved, and we were going to go straight as a normal season and have 2 tribes. And Lynn called one day and said, you know what? There's actually a natural division here of brains, brawn, and beauty. One of the interesting things when you start trying to categorize people is it's very rare that you find somebody that you would only put in one category. You're only beautiful and you have no brain or no strength. Everybody has elements of each.
The twists and mind games kick off right from the show open.
One of the elements for the marooning is to try to get inside their head by the way we brought them in. The Brawn tribe was brought in on an old truck that was uncomfortable, and every 20 feet it was bumping around, and you could tell they were a little uncomfortable. Then the Beautiful tribe was given this great boat. And you have the women in front with their hat on, sunning themselves. They come in like they are the chosen models from the latest photo shoot. Then you have the Brains. They get the coolest ride of all, the chopper. And our thought process was the Brawn tribe can handle the truck. That's the image we're gonna put in your head. The Beautiful tribe, of course they should be out on the water in a beautiful ski boat. And the Smartest tribe figured out there's a chopper. This is the easiest way to get in. This season, after we set up Brains, Beauty, and Brawn, we went right into it and said each tribe's gonna select a leader. So each tribe will pick a leader. And the moment they pick a leader, the leader will then pick the weakest. And now we have a game because we have somebody on the top, we have somebody on the bottom. The tribe didn't put them on the bottom, one person put them on the bottom. The 3 weakest are then sent back to camp in a helicopter. So they get a very fast ride. They don't have to hike, they don't have to do anything. And when they get there, they find out that they have a decision to make. They can either choose to help themselves and take a clue to a hidden immunity idol, or they can choose a second bag of rice for the tribe, which would make you a hero. Double the amount of food is a huge advantage.
But as in recent seasons, hidden immunity idols will play a role throughout the game.
Regular idols will be played this season, and the clues will be delivered in the rewards. There's also going to be a special idol that will come into play later in the game. Once we're merged and idols have been played a little bit, there will be another idol that comes into play. We'll call it the Tyler Perry idol, and it will be allowed to be used not only after they've cast their votes, but after I've read them. So it is a true get-out-of-jail-free card. Massive power, can shift the game dramatically. I'm super excited because we have so many memorable and, in a lot of cases, likable people. People that I think the audience will actually root for and not just root against.
21-year-old Morgan from Santa Clara, California will be on the Beauty tribe.
They're gonna see me and be like, she's kind of stuck up, she looks like a brat. But that's just based off about her appearance. They don't really know me.
Morgan is gonna have a hard time out here. And I think the answers are obvious. She's young, she relies on her looks, she's probably never really been tested.
But prior to Survivor, Morgan did pass one big test, becoming an NFL cheerleader as a teenager.
I auditioned my senior year of high school and I made it. So I was a senior in high school at a private Catholic school and also an NFL cheerleader. So that was a funny little combination. It somewhat prepared me for Survivor, just learning to, work in a big group and you have differences, but you just have to bite your tongue sometimes and just go with the flow. Flirting and having guys in my back pocket is pretty simple and pretty easy. There's already a few of them that I know are still kind of young and naive, so that won't be too difficult.
But flirting is as far as it will go for this castaway.
Relationship-wise, no. And I think it's disgusting. We don't brush our teeth, we don't shower. Like, that's so unsanitary.
I don't think Morgan's gonna last a long time in the game.
Like Morgan, 36-year-old Latasha is also a former NFL cheerleader.
I think some of my St. Louis Rams cheerleading experience will definitely help me in the game of Survivor. To lead 30 divas is probably more difficult than it will be to manage this group.
Nowadays, this member of the Brains tribe manages numbers instead of divas.
Back at home in St. Louis, I'm actually a CPA. I work for an investment firm in the finance division. The one thing that I will have to probably rein in is my leadership ability. I'm a leader at work, I'm a leader at church, all the organizations that I'm involved in, I play some type of leadership role. So when I get into the game, I'm gonna have to restrain myself and not say, you get the firewood, you make the shelter. In a game like Survivor, it will require deceit, it will require maybe backstabbing, and for someone who has faith, they may struggle with that. I don't struggle with that at all. At home, I go to parties, I have beverages, adult beverages, whenever I want to, and I don't feel bad about it. I think you can be a person of faith and know what you believe and stand on that, but at the same time, enjoy life.
I think it's gonna be hard for Latasha to win this game, but she can. What Latasha has going for her is a great smile and a great attitude. And she's older than she looks. She's in her late 30s, but she can play like she's in her early 20s. So that's something that I think gives her a big advantage.
The girls, they look a little tiny though. I grew up on cornbread, fried chicken, cabbage, so I'm a little sturdier. Those little girls better watch out. I'll take them down and out.
One look at 39-year-old Tony from Jersey City, and it's easy to see he's on the Braun tribe.
I'm a police officer, if you didn't know that by now, if you couldn't guess. Ever since I was a kid, I used to see the cops in my neighborhood, and I used to always look up to them and say, wow, that's a great job, awesome job. Most of the people I meet out there, they all try to outfox me. Most of them. They all try to be slick, they try to deceive me, and they try to outfox me. But they can't pull that off on me, and that's what brings me here, because that's what I'm going to be dealing with out here. You can't pull a fast one on me. I'm not the smartest, but I'm definitely savvy. You're not going to get over on me.
Tony's kind of like a hatchet man in an alliance. I think if I had Tony in my alliance, I would make him the guy responsible for the moves. And I would flatter him and say, you're the tough guy, you know how to deal with people, let him know it was your idea.
They made a mistake by casting me. I think they're putting a shark, which is me, inside a koi pond. That's what it's gonna be like. I see koi. I see the pretty young little girls to the older pretty women, the young little boys to the older handsome guys, and then I have me, badass Tony. There's really no heroes on the game. It's a diabolic game. We're in the devil's playground, trying to win the devil's candy. And $1 million is a whole lot of candy. Whole lot of candy.
But this tough guy does have a soft spot.
I have a baby little girl, Anastasia, 4 months old. Heartbreaking. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. It's devastating. But that stays home. Emotions, my heart, staying at home. I'm out here, I'm focused, I'm going all the way.
Horse trainer and bartender LJ from Massachusetts has been a Survivor fan from the show's earliest days.
I was always an outdoorsy kid who always played in the dirt, ran through the mud, watched PBS with animals and stuff. I was always intrigued, and when the show came on, I was like, I have to do this, I have to do this.
He'll be on the beautiful tribe, but I'm certain when you talk to him in an interview that he'll say something like, I don't know how I ended up on the good-looking tribe. I'm just a dude. That's part of his appeal.
And what's good about this crew is I fit right in the middle. I'm not the super good-looking guy who's got muscles tearing out of my body, or the small, weak guy who obviously has a serious mental game, or beauty queen. I just fit right in the middle.
LJ's already learned all about real-life survival from his hero.
My mom is my hero. She works as hard as anybody out there. She's just a provider. So I always looked up to her. And she also beat cancer, yes. She's doing good. I mean, she's so active, and I don't think that cancer has a chance to catch up.
LJ could definitely win this game.
And if he does, the 34-year-old has solid plans for the $1 million prize.
I would probably invest in a facility where I can keep horses, and I would quit bartending immediately.
32-year-old Jatia has a job title that makes it easy to designate which tribe she'll be on.
I'm a nuclear engineer. I work for the government in nuclear nonproliferation. It's a job just like everybody else's job. It's just an uncommon one because it deals with technology that people aren't used to.
She's on the Brain tribe. She's super smart. She's a beautiful woman. So she has the qualities you look for in a Survivor contestant. I can't tell if she's playing an aloof game as part of the game or if she's slightly aloof.
I am going to share that I'm an engineer and that I'm in nuclear engineering and nuclear nonproliferation, but I'm not going to tell them about the PhD. I just think that might be a little bit intimidating, and I don't want to be, off-putting or unrelatable. And I just remember watching the second season and Alicia and doing that finger thing. I will wave my finger at you anytime I feel like waving my finger. I was like, go girl, and I just thought she was so cool. I don't want to get the finger out on anybody. That is like the one thing I don't want to do. I have like a tendency to cut people. Like if they piss me off, just like blurt it out and cut them to the bone. And I'm really trying not to do that. I don't really need to be the schemer-in-chief, even though I can. But I think of myself like, the Dick Cheney, like, I'm gonna tell you what to do and you're gonna execute kind of thing. That's where I would like to be. I've been so many places. I grew up in a black neighborhood. Now I live in almost an all-white world. I've been in the South, I've been in a big city, I've been in the country, I've been everywhere. So I feel like I can relate to, people very well. They're willing to let me in. I can, get along with anybody.
Now when the game starts, maybe she'll snap to it and say, this is what's gonna happen. This is how it's gonna go. Otherwise, she's in trouble.
47-year-old Trish from Needham, Massachusetts brings both inner and outer strength to the Brawn tribe.
I am a Pilates instructor and I own my own Pilates business. I've been teaching Pilates for 16 years. I don't think I look like a real physical threat because I'm not a big person. I'm strong, but you might not know that by looking at me necessarily. I've always wanted to be on Survivor since the first year it started in 2000, and I've basically been playing Survivor in my head ever since then. Every time something comes up, if I think I can't do it, I'm like, if you were on Survivor, could you do it? And then I make myself do it. I always sort of had a knowing that I was going to end up here.
She's got that East Coast thing that so many people like, which is I'm real. I'm not a pretend person. I'm not a manufactured person. This is who I am, these wrinkles I earned.
The hardest thing for me about leaving home is leaving my two girls. I've been raising my two girls on my own for 15 years. Some people meet me and they think I'm the toughest person they've ever met and they're petrified of me. And then they find out later that I'm really a marshmallow. And some people meet me and they think I'm the nicest person in the world and then they find out later that don't piss me off. So it's either a 50-50. I have a terrible temper. They call me 0 to 60 Hegarty. I go from 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds.
I love Trish, and I hope she lasts a while.
Jeremiah hails from rural North Carolina, but the male model's home on Survivor Cagayan will be the beauty tribe.
Where I'm from, we're really small, so you don't hear too many models around my region.
He's this kid who, grows up on a farm. Somebody finds him and says, you're a good-looking guy, why don't you come model for us? And his response is, you mean you're gonna pay me to sit on a tractor? Okay.
Being from a small town, from an old-fashioned mom and dad, and they raised me in the country, learning how to fish, learning how to hunt, doing a little bit of construction work, and just living outdoors and being outdoors, it really drew me to the show. I believe I can get on here and show the world that what I've got. I'm a very likable guy. I'm nice to everybody. I was raised on yes sirs, yes ma'ams, be friendly to everybody.
But the 34-year-old plans on being extra friendly to his female tribe mates.
You know, there's some very beautiful girls here. Now, I've always liked beautiful women. I'm definitely open for anything, so, you know, which I came here single, and hey, if it happens and I meet somebody here on the show and she wants to get into a relationship, you know, I mean, hey, if it's God's will, then I'm here for it, you know, and I'm ready for it.
Is Jeremiah starting to see himself as better than because he's been deemed beautiful? That will be his downfall if that's the case.
With his looks and build, 27-year-old Garrett could have been a member of the Beauty or Brawn tribe, but his high IQ landed him with the brains.
I'm a high-stakes professional poker player. Ever since I was about 18, I started doing that pretty seriously. Similar to almost everything else I do in my life, I became just completely obsessed with poker.
Garrett does not plan on sharing his poker-playing prowess with his competitors.
Usually I just lie to people and say I'm involved with internet marketing, and that's like a foreign enough job description to most people that they just go, oh, cool. There's a ton of unpredictability in both Survivor and poker, and there's, you know, to use a term from mathematics, there's a ton of variance in both of them. In Survivor, you have to have a plan for everything. And contingency plans in Survivor are absolutely key. I also don't need someone to discuss strategy with. I feel fully comfortable making decisions on my own. I know a lot of people, even very talented players, often talk about, well, I just want to be able to run through this with someone. No.
He has all of these skills. The only thing working against Garrett is he's aware that he has all these skills, and he can't wait to tell you that he has all these skills, and that gets annoying really fast.
I sort of expect people to think that I'm very egotistical, very superficial, probably not particularly intelligent.
He could be a triple threat, or he could be an absolute early out.
I'm a police officer, and right now I'm assigned to the narcotic division.
But Sarah says her job might pose some obstacles in the game.
I can't be that cop and win this game. Cops have never done well. And so clearly, being that toe-the-line cop doesn't get you to the end.
With her fighting skills in the MMA, the 29-year-old is a natural fit for the Brawn tribe, where she's already pegged one of her tribe mates as a fellow officer.
I think there's another cop out here, too. There's a bald guy, but he seems like he's the toe-the-line type cop. So hopefully we get along and we don't butt heads too much. Truly, you know, without God, I wouldn't have this opportunity. I've been blessed with this. My faith is something that's private to me, just because sometimes I feel I don't uphold the way I should be acting. So I'm not gonna drag Jesus' name through the dirt and sit there and preach like, oh, I'm holier than thou, and then turn around and do something I shouldn't. I'm gonna do what I need to do to win $1 million. When I get done, I'll just have to ask for forgiveness.
She's a whole combination of the brains, beauty, and brawn. She can beat you up, she can outthink you, she's a cop, and she's beautiful. She's a triple threat. She could win this game. Welcome to the Tribal Council for Survivor Cagayan. For this Tribal Council tour, I'm going to introduce you to 3 of the key players involved in making this come to life. All right, Jordan, so take me through the design process of any Tribal Council. What's the first stage?
The first stage is getting into the culture that we're working with.
From a design point of view, what would people be surprised is difficult?
The hardest part of designing Tribal Council is that it's really a 360 set. So you have all these nice things that you want to do and that you want to feature, but then you have to make sure that you can get camera guys in there and be hidden from each other and lights and all that stuff that still makes it functional. All these statues here are hand carved, and it's just amazing. I mean, the artwork is incredible to look at.
What I'm always impressed with is the aging process.
We don't build it to look new, we build it to look old, so we'll work together to make sure that every little part is going to look right at the end when it needs to be broken down and overgrown and mossy.
All right, Muzza, we talked to Jordan about designing this. Once it's designed, it goes to you and your construction team. How long, how many guys does it take to build this?
Well, Jordan gives us 7 weeks from day one, and then we have 30 guys. And it's a tough slog. It's 6 days a week, 12 hours a day.
What stood out for you when you actually looked at the layout and said, oh my God, we're gonna need a lot of this?
Yeah, I'd say probably the thatch, Jeff. Like this grass thatching it's a lot of work. I think it was like 15,000 bundles altogether. And
15,000 bundles?
Yeah, it's a lot
And
of
that's
work.
for all the roofs on all these little huts around here?
Yeah.
Once the set is built, it's time to light it up with fire.
Did you ever imagine you could work on a television show and be in charge of making fire for a living?
I didn't, no, I didn't think I'd come my way.
How many fires do we have this tribal?
About 45 on set here, that's burning right now, yeah.
And is that typical?
A little more this season. It seems a little more open spaces on this set and yeah, a bit more room for extra torches.
When you think of tribal council, there is always a center fire. How has it changed over the years in terms of how we make it?
It needs to burn clean and we like good coverage. If we put too much heat in it, we get too much heat haze across the contestants' faces.
Are you guys back there when it's dumping rain going, fingers crossed, I hope the flames stay alive?
We're quietly confident most of the time, yeah.
Well, no matter how many tribal councils we have, no matter what the theme is, really nothing says tribal council like a nice snuffer and a good torch. That's going to do it for this tour. I hope you enjoy Survivor Cagayan.
Although this season is in the Philippines, from tribal council to all the season's elements, the art department is looking toward another Asian country for its designs.
The look for this entire season is actually inspired from Indonesia. It's a culture that has amazing arts and crafts and a really, really rich artistic history. The immunity idol this season is taken from a really characteristic Indonesian deity called a barong. Because there's 3 tribes, there's a first and a second place. They don't go to tribal council, so there's actually 2, but one's a little bigger, one's a little smaller. Torches, again, were another great opportunity to get the Indonesian deity that represents each tribe worked in. They sort of look like wood carving that are on both sides of the torch. They're super detailed, really pretty, and everyone's slightly different. Right behind me, they are putting some final touches on puzzles that appear in our opening challenge. It's a massive undertaking when they make the puzzles from scratch, the pieces, and then they get painted and then coated so that they can take a beating like the contestants like to give them. And then within an hour, they're destroyed. It's sort of sad, but I think that probably the carpenters that spent so long building it, there's also a sense of relief in knowing that it's done.
46-year-old Cliff Robinson has a claim to fame that earns him an obvious spot on the Braun tribe.
I'm a former NBA player who played 18 years in the NBA. On the NBA teams, you're always looking for somebody to replace you. They're always bringing somebody in on a yearly basis to try to take your job. So that's pretty much the same with Survivor. When you're dealing with those changes, you have to still be able to work within the confines of a team. For me, it plays into some of my strengths because I'm used to doing that. I definitely can't blend in. I can't hide. There's no way for me to hide. So for me, I think that's what's going to make it a challenge. No one has played the game of Survivor who's been as tall as me. I'm 6'10".
Cliff has another big obstacle, and that is people are going to figure out he's played sports. If he can keep the fact that he played in the NBA out of this game, I'll be completely surprised because somebody out there will recognize him.
If someone does recognize me as a former NBA player, that's going to put a target on my back right away. For me, it's going to, it's going to be interesting on how I handle it.
You've got an NBA player on the cast. It'll be interesting to see which kind of player Cliff is.
As a major sports fan and member of the Brains tribe, it's no surprise David recognized his most famous competitor. And like Cliff, he might have a target on his back for his own high-profile job.
I'm the president of the Miami Marlins baseball team. One of the great misconceptions about being the president of the Marlins is that people think all you do is sit around watching baseball all day. The fact of the matter is that I'm running a company like anybody else who runs a company. I'm in the entertainment business, and we put on an entertainment product 162 times a year when we play regular season games. So there's a lot to the job that people don't see. I'm going to tell the other tribe members that I work for the Marlins in the marketing department. I want to win the $1 million as badly as everyone else here. And that's going to be my story. If I'm recognized by somebody, I'll deal with that as it comes. There's a line in baseball that you can't win the pennant in April, but you certainly can lose it. And Survivor's the same. You can't win Survivor in the first week, but you can definitely lose it. My strategy is I came here to win. I did not schlep to location here, to an island for 39 days not to win, I can promise you that. I could schwitz like this in Miami.
Though she's a member of the beauty tribe, don't underestimate 23-year-old Jeffra.
I like to be competitive, for sure.
This Kentucky girl already proved how competitive she can be, appropriately as a contestant in a beauty pageant.
I got to go compete at Miss Teen USA, where I made top 15. To an extent, you have to be able to manipulate the judges in the interview process to get them to believe exactly that you're right for the job and get them exactly where you want them, you know, so that at the end of the night, they're picking you as their winner. I'm a country girl at heart, and I love the outdoors. I love to hunt and fish and be outside, and I think as far as the actual game of Survivor, those things are gonna be very effective for me.
I like Jeffra. I like Jeffra a lot. And one of the things I like about Jeffra is she's a young woman with a lot of life experience. She's gone through a lot as a young woman.
When I was 21, right after my 21st birthday, I was diagnosed with early stages cervical cancer, so I went through a lot of surgery to have a large part of my cervix removed. Very scary at such a young age. You know, you're facing decisions that you've never even really thought about. But I'm lucky, I'm healthy now, and I'm happy, and I'm out here living a dream, so it just makes me stronger.
Jeffra could absolutely win the game, but she's got to do it by being with other women. I think if Jeffra gets with other guys, they will keep her around, and then they will realize she's too big a threat and get rid of her.
It's gonna be a good game. I think we're gonna have a great season.
Moving from the beauty tribe to the brain tribe, meet Cass.
I'm an attorney. I have my own law firm in California, and then also I am a reindeer handler from November through December for my family's ranch. I'm not one of these crazy Survivor fanatics who's on forums and stuff that I've recently learned about, but I've never missed an episode. This is my midlife crisis, or my 40. You know, everything happens at 40. So I drank a glass of wine, made a little video, put it on the website, and 3 days later I got a phone call.
Cass is going to have to make a decision early in this game about who she is. She has to decide on day one quickly, who am I? Am I a lawyer? Am I a reindeer handler? Am I a mom? Am I a wife? What am I? And then play it. Because if you're vague, people don't trust it. They think you're hiding something.
I don't want anyone knowing that I'm an attorney. I think there's a perception of attorneys that is probably true, that we're, you know, greedy, ruthless people. And we're not likable, or maybe that you're more intelligent, or you think you're more intelligent. I'm a lawyer. Of course I'm happy backstabbing, manipulating, and overbilling. I mean, for that, I'm here to play and win, so that's my plan.
I feel like I bring something completely different that I don't think I've ever really seen on Survivor.
24-year-old social worker Bryce from Philadelphia should feel right at home on the beauty tribe.
I mean, look at me. I'm absolutely fabulous. I'm young, I'm intelligent, I'm black, and I'm gay. I don't think Survivor's ever really had a young, black, fashionable gay person on. When I think of gay person for Survivor, I think of Colton. And me and Colton is not in the same boat, boo. First of all, I feel like I'm a survivor since 3rd grade. I had to survive in 3rd grade from getting teased and picked on, and I kind of had to adapt and do things differently than other kids and kind of just enjoying my life. I was too busy worrying about what people were saying about me and, like, you know, running home, not getting beat up.
He's lived a life in which people have judged him from the outside, and he's been able to turn their impression around.
I kind of can see them reading me and looking at me like, I don't think, you know. But, you know, I'm that threat that they need to really be watching out for. My clothing is a bit louder and brighter and tighter than a lot of theirs. So I definitely probably think they may be homing in on that I'm the gay cast member.
I think that he's going to be fun for a tribe. And on times out here where I think it's going to be very rainy or very hot, having somebody who's fun to be around can be one of those invaluable qualities that can get you further in the game.
When I first saw the cast, I'm like, are we shooting a Gladiator movie? The guys are definitely big, and, like, you know, I'm kind of like, but I think, you know, I'll be able to use this to kind of, like, move around and, you know, get in between them and kind of do, you know, work my Bryce magic, I like to call it.
Northwestern student and member of the beauty tribe, Alexis, began scheming before the game was underway.
I'm double majoring in psychology and learning and organizational change, which is pretty much business consulting. But I'm not going to tell anybody I'm a psych major. I'm going to pocket that one and just keep that to myself because they're going to think that the wheels are turning the whole time, and I don't want them to know that I'm thinking the whole time. So I'll keep that to myself.
Alexis is someone I'll put in the dark horse category. I think, unlike a lot of women her age who've probably gotten by on looks, Alexis has it figured out in a lot of ways upstairs as well.
People, when they see me, I think they might think that I'm harmless, which is great for me, which is exactly what I want them to think. They probably don't think I'm very smart. No one thinks I'm smart when they meet me, but I go to Northwestern like I'm a student. I am a nerd in my real life, so.
But while she's on Survivor, this 21-year-old plans on using her looks to her advantage.
I'm definitely gonna flirt, but it's not a strategy of flirting. It's just my personality is flirty. It's only gotten me good things so far, so why would I stop now? I will definitely, flirt with guys here and there. I'm not going to just narrow down to one dude. I don't do that in my life either. I like to, collect them, just have a bunch of dudes. But if you zone in on one, you're only with this one dude, you're a target instantly. I'm not gonna put myself in that position. And the guys here are not cute enough anyway. They'll think that I think that they're super hot, but I don't think that they're hot. They're not cute.
Bringing a more agile type of strength to the Braun tribe is California boy Wu.
I am a martial arts instructor, a personal trainer, and also a surf instructor. My father is a grandmaster of Taekwondo, so at a really young age, my sister and I were just fortunate enough to kind of be brought up in that atmosphere, that martial arts community. It took me many years to obtain my black belt. Lost pounds of blood, sweat, and tears. It took a lot of hard work. Definitely looking back in my experience and what I accomplished just proves to me that I can accomplish anything once I put my mind to it. And that goes for this game and being claimed the next sole survivor.
Wu said something to me right out of the gate. He said, in martial arts, I was taught something very early. Respect everybody, and you'll never be surprised by what they might do.
And I know it's gonna be tough out there. People are gonna be bumming for all sorts of reasons, lack of food, just being tired. I naturally bring this spirit about myself, this energetic side of myself that hopefully is contagious and people can feed off of that. Hopefully, I can bring up their spirits by just my smile, I guess.
If people underestimate him, they're in trouble because he's not underestimating you. Then I think people might think, I can beat him. I'll keep him around. If they keep him around too long, they may be surprised.
Superfan Spencer is a natural fit for the Brains tribe.
I'm an econ major. I'm hoping that'll help me out a little bit just because I'm thinking rationally. I'm not going to be thinking too much with my feelings. I'm going to be making smart decisions and not going off of personalities, going off of the game. I think this group is really physical. I'm not sure it's all there mentally. They're not really threatening me in terms of strategy. I think I'm going to be the smartest person here. I'm definitely going to be the biggest fan out here, and I would be shocked if I'm not the most strategic person. I want to be the brains behind the operation. I don't want anyone thinking for themselves. They're probably assuming I'm pretty smart because what else could I be? I'm not huge and strong. I'm not a model.
Spencer plans on utilizing his chess expertise in the game of Survivor.
Chess is all about deciding when to make the right move. It's about timing. It's about analyzing what could help you when you make a move and what could hurt you. And it's the exact same thing with Survivor.
He has 0.0 chance to win this game. There hasn't been anybody in the history of Survivor that stood less of a chance of winning than Spencer.
Jeff's an intense guy. We've had some interesting talks. I've had conversations with him recently where he's gotten so mad at me, he picked up his hat and literally hurled it across the room at me. So, I have to watch out for Jeff's angry side.
He thinks I don't like him because he's annoying or agitating or combative. Those are all the reasons I love him.
Finally, meet Lindsay, the stylist and bartender who lands on the Braun tribe.
I run my own salon, and then I also bartend for fun. I'm the worst bartender ever. I only make one drink, though. I have a specialty shot called Lindsay's Vomit, and I just make it. It's whatever I throw in there, and then it's like, here, drink it.
Survivor is this Kokomo, Indiana native's chance to do something for herself.
I was a single mom for a really long time before I met my fiance, and thank God that he's helped me out a lot, but at the same time, I never really got to do anything for myself. I think it's really important, especially for a woman my age with a 6-year-old, because I'm 29. I really want to teach her that it's okay to adventure out and be a strong, independent woman.
Lindsay is somebody that we loved the minute we met her because she is so out there.
Made you look.
I think Lindsay's biggest obstacle will be her temper. She doesn't like to be told no. So if somebody in a leadership position tells Lindsay what to do and she doesn't like it, it wouldn't surprise me if she gave him, the cross-eyed look and suddenly it's on.
There's like the light Lindsay in the dark, like the angel and the devil, but like sometimes they just, don't really get along. So we'll see how that's gonna work out. I decided when I first came here, I'm gonna blend. And then I laughed at myself like, what the hell am I thinking? I cannot blend. Like, there's no blend to me, ever. When I did go through my divorce, usually it's, hey, do you want a drug problem or do you want tattoos? I'm like, I think I'm gonna do the tattoos. I'm gonna do what I want. If I want 20 tattoos, I'm going to have them, and that's exactly what I did. And I don't regret. I mean, even the tramp stamp, I don't regret it. Like, it's totally fine. I accept it and I embrace it. It's mine.
The press on location got to take part in one of this season's incredible challenges against the Survivor staffers known as the Dream Team, who test out each and every challenge. This particular race will be the first reward challenge, and it's called Haulin' Oats.
The idea behind Haulin' Oats is that one player will be in a tower from each tribe, the only sighted player. The other 4 will be blindfolded and out in a field. We'll keep 2 at the grain elevator, is what we're calling it, the oats elevator. And everybody else will race out to pick up their bags of rice, their bundles of hay, and their fish traps. And once they get all 10 items brought back, drop them over, hoist them to the top, and the first 2 tribes win some kind of a reward.
We were also on hand for the first immunity challenge for Survivor Cagayan.
The first immunity challenge that we had is called Dragon the Dragon.
Survivor's ready. Go!
It is pulling a cart across a lot of man-made and natural obstacles. They are carrying boxes of puzzle pieces that are in the form of a couple of huge dragons. At 3 different spots, one player is gonna have to climb up a ladder using a bamboo pole to reach out and release a key. The players will take that key and unlock a chest. They put that chest in the cart. Once they have all the chests together, they stop at a big wall, a big barricade. They have to dismantle their cart, take all the chests out, they take the wheels off, they take the sides off, they take the chests out, and they have to stuff them through a wall. They climb up over the wall, then they have to reassemble the cart on the other side and then make it through a bunch of natural obstacles until they get to the end, which is the puzzle part. It's a 3-part puzzle. The lower bit, which is very easy puzzle, it's only like 6 pieces. Then the middle bit, I think, is an 18-piece puzzle. The third and final box of puzzle pieces, which is a 20-piece puzzle up on the top.
If you want to find out which 2 tribes come out on top, you'll have to watch Survivor Cagayan. That's all for Survivor Cagayan Preview. To see if brains, brawn, or beauty comes out on top, be sure to watch Survivor, Wednesdays on CBS.